Good evening, everyone. I'll just take a minute to make sure everyone joining the lesson, and we'll start our lesson after that. All right, so good evening, Joanna. Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Dora. Good evening, Vinod. Good evening, everyone. And today, of course, like we already know, we're going to start a revision lesson today. We're going to revise kind of every single question we have covered so far from the book. So today we're not going to do any specific area. We try to do every single question from every single chapter. So we'll pick up a exam types question and we try to solve every single question we have on this practice question. And our plan is today. After today, we will know how many marks we'll see from which question, from which chapter will give us more marks, which area is more important. So all of these things we're going to discuss today. So we'll complete 100 marks question today, and exactly in the exam, we're expecting this type of question. It's not going to be exactly same question, but this type of question we will see in the exam. So after today, hopefully, like if we keep practicing, if we do some revise, hopefully after today, we'll know how exactly we need to practice and what type of question we'll see in the exam. So my advice will be after today, you need to just revise as much as possible. And I'll tell you some technique from where it will be the suitable way to practice. I have sent you some question already. You can practice from there. If you have already your question bank, that is very, very helpful. If you have your question bank, you can keep revising from there. Otherwise, there is something you can do from your My AAT website. So if you log into your My AAT website on the lifelong portal, there is some practice question. There is some green line test that is so important. Very, very easy to understand because there is a solution as well. So it's not only the question, there is answer as well. So it will help you a lot. And that type of question we see in the exam most of the time. So I would say once we practice today the question, after that you have to log into your MyAT account. And from the MyAAT account, you will see the Lifeline portal. And from there, you do some practice. You have two practice questions from there that you can practice yourself. And also, you will have some tests like a green line test. You will try that as well. And if you need any help, like you don't find it, how to get it, maybe you can email me. I'll guide you more. Okay, so let's start our today's revision. And today we're going to practice a question that is from the AAT website. So from the AAT, actually, they said some sample question for us. So from one of the sample question, we're going to practice today. So I'll pick one of the sample question from the AAT practice assessment. And obviously, like there are two practice assessment. Of course, like you have to practice yourself as well. If you can practice more, that will be more good. But I would say from today's lesson, we're going to understand what type of question we're expecting in the exam and how actually we can solve all of this. So let's start this question. Let's start our today's lesson. And obviously, try to explain as detailed as possible. We try to do very slowly. And if you have any question, please make sure you write it down so that we can explain more. It's more important, like obviously, if we explain, if you ask the question, is very, very important. The next week, Vinal will not have any lesson. Next week, we'll arrange the exam. So next week, Thursday, we'll do exam, but we'll talk about that after the lesson. So let's finish the lesson. We'll talk about the exam maybe before we finish our lesson. Okay, so Let's start with our this question one. First thing, when you receive the question, when you open the question, when your exam is started, first thing you need to identify yourself how many questions you're going to see in the exam. That will be total 8 tasks. So you're going to see 8 tasks, 8 tasks in the exam. So you're going to see total 8 tasks in the exam, and all these 8 tasks we have to answer. There is no optional question. We have to answer every single question. So every single question we have to attempt. So it is very, very important. You need to understand which area question will come in the exam. Now, first of all, there will be MCQ question, and that will be really quick. The MCQ question will be really quick. And of course, like once we have the MCQ question, once we got the MCQ question, this question we try to complete as soon as possible. So the MCQ question we'll try to solve as soon as possible. On the other hand, on the other hand, on the other hand, the more detailed question expecting that will be like the box. So VAT return, and on the VAT return, we have to calculate all these output VAT, input VAT, sales, and the purchase, and we need to complete the boxes. So this question will be always in the exam. So remember, on the when I said MCQ, so that is multiple choice question, Sharon. So you need to maybe choose one of the answer from 4, and maybe they'll give you some true and false question as well. Okay. So on the VAT return, this is one of the very important area we need to understand very well. So all this box, 9 boxes you have to remember. So the first box is output VAT. The second boxes is input VAT, or maybe the output VAT from this return slip. Third box is all about the input VAT. So all these boxes we have, we need to make sure we understand every single box. So once we have all these box, after that, of course, like we will be able to answer all this question. Okay, let's start our lesson today. Let's go one by one. Let's try to find it out how difficult it is for us. So we'll try to attempt every single one together. We'll try all of us together to this question. If you don't have your calculator with you, make sure to have it with you, because we will try every single question together. It's very important you try with me, because if you try with me, you'll understand exactly what we are doing. If you don't try, then if you just look at it, you don't concentrate. But if you try to do it, that's really helpful for the exam, because next week we will do our exam. So of course we have 1 week still, but I would say like if you get one question, the next one will be easy for you. So let's start with the first question. Let's read the first page. It says this is an updated version of the 2018. We'll do Financial Act 2019. This will be our exam. So our exam will be on the Financial Act 2019. This one you can carry on up to January. So after January, if anyone decided to do exam after January 2021, then you have to follow the new Financial Act, that will be 2020, but we don't have to worry about it because we'll follow 2019 Financial Act, and hopefully like we'll do our exam on that. Okay, task one. Task one is for 6 marks. Let's read this question. It says a business reached the VAT registration threshold. A business reached the VAT registration threshold 6 months ago. 6 months ago, but did not register for VAT. It has since charged 42,000 to customer for standard rated taxable supplies. Taxable supply means it sells. Taxable supply means it sells. So basically what happened here, one business, they reached the threshold, that is 85,000. They reached the threshold, but they forget to register, or they didn't register for the VAT. Now, If this is a situation, so many company they have the same issue. They reach the threshold, they don't check every month, and obviously after that they found they reached the threshold 3 months back, 4 months back, or 6 months back. So what is the consequences if this has happened? If the company crossed the threshold and the company didn't register on time, what happened? Company have to go back and they have to start charging the VAT from the date they're supposed to register. For example, we are in 2019 and we are supposed to register in June. So threshold reach 85,000. So last 12 month, the sales reached to 85,000. So we are supposed to register on June, but we forget. Now we are in December. So what will happen? Because we are in December, how can we solve these issues? The only one way we can do that, HMRs will tell you how much sales you make between December and June. How much sales you make between December and June. So the answer is here, 42,000. So this company make a sale 42,000 pound from the date they are supposed to register for VAT. But they didn't register for the VAT. But from that day till now, they charge 42,000 to the customer as a sales. So they make a sales 42,000 pound to the customer. Now, my question here is, how are we going to treat this 42,000? So HMRC said, even though you didn't charge any money to customer as a VAT, so you only charge for the sale because you're not registered for the VAT. So we didn't charge any VAT to the customer, but we will consider your VAT registered on June. So from June to December, whatever sales you make, we will consider this is a VAT included sale. So this sale, HMRC will consider VAT included sale. Now you might say, I didn't charge any VAT to my customer, so how can I pay the VAT? So HMRC will tell you that is your mistake. You forget to register with HMRC for the VAT, so this is your mistake. So all the sales you make from June till now, we will consider this is a VAT including sale, so the VAT is inside. So we will calculate the VAT based on that sale and you have to pay the VAT. Now this is very unlikely. This is very unlikely if you call your customer. If you call your customer and said, I forget to charge you the VAT because I supposed to register for the VAT 6 months back, but I forget, and that's why I didn't charge you the VAT. Can you come and pay the VAT? So this is very unlikely any customer will come and pay you the VAT because customer will say, no, we will not come and we're not going to pay the VAT. So actually you cannot reimburse this money from the customer. So it's actually will be your loss because you forget for the registration. So that will be actually your loss. So you need to pay the VAT from the net. So HMRC will consider this is a VAT included sale, gross sale. So you have to pay the VAT from that amount. So how we calculate that? Let's have a look at the requirement. The requirement here is how much will the business have to pay HMRC in respect of the output tax for the period of non-registration? The business has chosen to treat the amount charged as VAT inclusive. So the business has chosen. So HMRC said amount of 42,000 will be considered as a included VAT. So even though there is no VAT, but you forget to register, so we will treat this one as inclusive VAT and you have to pay the VAT. So if the VAT is inside of the 42,000, how much is the VAT inside? So if the VAT is inside, how we get this figure? When the VAT is inside, you always divide by 6 to take out the VAT. So 20% VAT is inside. 42,000 divide 6, that will give us a VAT of 7,000. So this VAT will be payable to HMRC. This VAT will be payable to HMRC even though you did not charge any VAT to the customer, but still you need to pay the VAT because this is your fault that you forget to register with the VAT or with the HMRC for the VAT. So this is your responsibility. You check always and register for the VAT so that you can charge VAT to the customer and you pay to HMRC. Okay, so now, Umit, the business have no choice. Business cannot say like this is there is no VAT inside. Of course, there is no VAT inside, but still they have to pay VAT because the business cannot call every single customer and tell I forget to charge the VAT. Can you bring the VAT back? No one will come to pay the VAT. Okay, the next one, the next question we have here: must the business's customer reimburse the business for the output tax now payable to HMRC? What will be the answer here? The answer will be no. The business customer cannot reimburse the VAT that now payable to HMRC. The answer will be no. Yeah. So this one you can see we have 2 marks from here and 1 marks just say yes and no. So obviously like this is something okay. Here there is reimburse. This reimburse words means like later on when you claim something. For example, let's say I will give you a simple example. For example, sometimes employee paid something from their own pocket. For example, you went to post office and you post a letter that for your company. So you pay £2. So later on you reimburse it. That means, for example, you give the receipt to the accountant and he give you £2 back. So now, of course, even though the customer didn't pay the VAT, and the customer can claim VAT from HMRC, the answer is no, because this customer never paid the VAT. How come this customer reimbursed? So they cannot claim back, isn't it? Because this is the business who actually losing the money because they forget to register. So they cannot reimburse the money from HMRC. Okay, so let's move on to our next bit. The next point we have here, that's very easy, is to complete the following statement by choosing one option. To find out information about the registration on a special scheme for a VAT, a business should first of all, what business should do first? To call HMRC on the General Inquiry Helpline, look at the HMRC website, write to HMRC. So this one, remember, first you always look at the website. Your first job will be to look at the website. This is number one. If the problem is solved from here, then the problem is solved. If you don't see anything on the website, then step number two is call to HMRC. And finally, still you need to resolve the issue, then basically you write to HMRC. So your initial job will be to look at the website and try to solve the problem if you can. If not, then you think about to call HMRC or write to HMRC. So first of all, we need to do look at the HMRC website. Okay, so this is 2 marks question, very easy. Number C. Number C is asking, complete the following statement by choosing one option. Voluntary registration for VAT is available to any business. Volunteer registration for VAT is available to any business with taxable turnover over the registration threshold that or that makes at least some taxable supplies. That makes at least some taxable supplies. So basically what happened here, so if you want to register as a volunteer, then you have to have at least some taxable supplies. So if you have all the supply that is exempted, then you cannot register for VAT. If you only supply the exempt supplies, then you are not allowed to register for the VAT. So you have to have some taxable supplies. Taxable supply means when you buy something, you pay VAT, or when you sell something, you charge VAT. So you don't just sell only exempt supply. Number two. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Now we have a little bit technical side. Here we have to do some calculation. So you move to task number 2, and here we have some type of calculation. We have to do some workings to get the result. So let's read this question. The first question we have here, a business makes the following purchase. A business makes the following purchase. Standard graded good for 110 plus VAT of 22. Okay, so we have 110 is net plus VAT is 22. Zero rated goods for 68. Zero rated good for 68. So we have a standard rated 110 and zero rated 68. Okay, which one of the following amount must appear on the simplified VAT invoice issued to the business? Now, simplified invoice, all of us remember that up to £250. If the amount is up to £250, we can keep, or we can make simplified invoice. That is quite simple than the detailed VAT invoice. So let's have a look. What would be the answer here? The first one, they said, like, we have a two purchase, 1 and 2, standard and zero rated. Standard and zero rated. Remember that standard and zero rated, both VAT are claimable, and obviously, like, for that you need invoice. So how much will be the amount here? So we have 110, and simplified invoice always VAT inclusive. Remember, simplified VAT invoice always VAT inclusive. VAT inclusive. VAT inclusive. We have 110 plus 22, and you have zero rated plus 68. So how much is the total will be for the simplified invoice? If we added this, 110 plus 22 plus 68, that will be 200. And as long as it is not cross 250, as long as it is not cross 250, 250, we can use the simplified invoice. So it will be 200 for that. Okay, the next one we have, a business makes the following mixed supply. Standard rated good 185 plus VAT 37 and exempt good 28. May the business issue a simplified invoice for the sale? What will be the answer for that? Sharon, for the simplified invoice, when we say the invoice, we talk about included VAT sales. So VAT sales plus VAT. So that's total. And total need to be in the invoice. So in the invoice, we don't just only say on the VAT. On the invoice, we don't only show the VAT, isn't it? On the invoice, we have everything. We have a VAT, we have a sales, we have everything. So the simplified invoice is the sales plus the VAT. So it's a VAT included amount. Okay, so for this question, may the invoice issue a simplified invoice for the sale? What will be your answer? What do you think? Can you issue or not? So we have 185 plus 87, and what we have 28. How much it is if you added all of this? So 185 plus 37 plus 28. The total is 250. If the total is 250, we have a limit up to 250, isn't it? If it is not crossed 250, we can still use the simplified invoice, isn't it? If it is not crossed 250, we can still use the simplified invoice. So answer will be yes here. So if you have like, this is very, very important. The reason all of us are trying together, you can make your note and you can actually see, you can go back to the book again and you can read more about the simplified invoice. So every time, like when you have any confusion, make sure you go back to the book and read yourself again. That will make your concept clear, because before we complete the book, now what we'll do during the practice question. So if you're stuck anywhere, we go back to the book again. That will be so helpful to understand more. All right, so yes, Umit. So obviously, like here, we have some exam supplies as well. You see that? So this one will be another calculation. So if the amount is says 250 and there is exam supplies included, so obviously it's not crossing. So mainly when you have simplified invoice, we consider the standard rated and we consider the zero rated, because this is the two invoice we can claim back. Exam supplies actually we cannot claim back. So for that reason, obviously the simplified invoice, if we not cross 250, we can. Okay, so let's move to the next page. We have says a business incur input tax in relation to is exempt. The business income input tax in relation to is exempt. It's zero rated and is standard rated supplies. The input tax that is incurred in relation to the exempt supplies is more than the diminished amount. How much is the diminished amount? Anyone remember? How much is the diminished amount that has to be like under the input tax in order to claim all the VAT? So that is 625 per month, isn't it? 625 per month. This has to be less than 625. Now this question is saying the input tax that is incurred in relation to its exempt supplies is more than the diminished amount. So obviously, if it is more than 625, I cannot claim all the VAT. When there is exempt and zero rated and standard, maybe some of the VAT I cannot claim because it is not satisfying my diminished test. If it is not satisfying my diminished test, so the exempt supply, whatever VAT I have paid, maybe I cannot claim back, because there is a criteria. If you want to claim back the exempt supplies, the diminished test has to be satisfied. Okay, let's have a look. Complete the following statement. What is the requirement? Complete the following statement regarding the business input tax for the period. The business can reclaim, you can choose one, some, none, or all. So business can reclaim some. So business can reclaim some of the input tax because it makes what? It makes exempt supplies that are more than the diminished amount and some standard rated supplies. Priya will come back to the simplified invoice later on. Don't worry about it. I'll explain you more. Okay, so yes, exempt supplies, because exempt supplies that are more than diminished amount, some standard supplies. So that's why we cannot claim everything. We can claim only some. Okay, so let's move on. On the next one, The next one, it says, the business delivered good to its customer 11 February and issue a VAT invoice 27 February. So dispatch, that means is a basic tax point. An invoice is raised on 27th of February. Invoice raised. What is the tax point for this good supply? What is the tax point for this good supply? I hope we still remember the tax point. Tax point is like when actually we're going to consider the sales. So when we're going to report the VAT to HMRC for which period. And the tax point rules is like it has to be the earliest of three events. Number one, basic tax point. Number two, invoice raised. Number three, payment received. So out of these three, which one is the earliest one? That will be the best tax point. But from the date, basic tax point, that is goods dispatch or service completed, from that day to invoice raise, if it is within 14 days, then the invoice issue date become the tax point. Now here we can see the basic tax point, that is good delivered on 11 February, and from 11th of February to 27th of February, that is more than 14 days. So if this is more than 14 days, we do not consider that. If this is less than 14 days, for example, this is not 27 February, this is 22 February, then what will happen? Our basic tax points will be changed and the invoice issued will be the basic tax point. But for this question, of course, from 11 to 27 is more than 14 days. So 11th of February remain the basic tax point. So we say this one. So if you're still confused with this basic tax point, you have to go back to the book, read the basic tax point rules and the tax point rules. And we have some recorded lesson from that chapter as well. So you can see this one as well if you need still any help from there. All right, we have the next one. The next one is said a business dispatch goods to its customer on 15 July. A business dispatch goods to its customer on 15th of July. What is the latest date by which it can issue a VAT invoice? Select the date from the calendar. So remember, from the date is the dispatch the good. From that day we have 30 days. 30 days. Most of the thing for the VAT purpose, you see the deadline is 30 days, most of the thing. So 30 days from the 15th of July we have in order to raise the VAT invoice. So we'll calculate, we start counting from 15. Remember from 15, start counting from 15. We don't count, very careful with me, we don't count from the next day. We don't count from the next day, we count from actually from 15. Start count from 15. From 15 to next 30 days. What will be the latest date the VAT invoice can be issued? So that will be our 18th of August. So next 30 days. From the day you dispatch the good, from that day you have 30 days to issue a VAT invoice. All right, so let's move on. Task 3. On task 3, 5 marks question we have here. Let's have a look at that. A business operates the annual accounting scheme. Annual accounting scheme. Remember the annual accounting scheme? So from the month number 4, we have 9 payment up to month number 12. And after that, after 2 months, we make the final payment, the balance on month number 14. This is annual accounting scheme. And always has more output than the input tax. The end of its VAT period, 30th of September. VAT period in this 30th of September. Identify whether each of the following statement is true or false. The due date for the VAT return is 31st of October. Is it true or false for the annual accounting scheme? So when the year is 31st of September, from there we have 2 months. So it's not 1 month. So it is false. So this is absolutely false. I said yes, this is false. After that, the next one is asking businesses that choose to pay VAT monthly must make at least 9 VAT payment in any calendar year. This is absolutely true. If the business decided to pay monthly, they have to pay at least 9 installments for the whole year. So they have to pay at least 9 times for the whole year. So business that choose to pay VAT monthly must make at least 9 VAT payment in any calendar year. This is true. Okay, so let's move on to the next one we have here. The next one is says a business operates no special accounting scheme. So there is no special accounting scheme, just standard accounting scheme. It invoices standard related supply 1500 plus VAT on 1st February, offering 1 month credit, but wrote the debt on 15th of June. All the conditions for the claiming bad debt relief have been met by the business. What is the earliest opportunity for the business to claim bad debt relief? When they can claim the bad debt relief? So this is a bit tricky question. Remember, even this is a 6 month, but the 6 month is actually start from the date invoice was due. For example, you issue an invoice issue date, let's say 1st of January, an invoice is due on 1st February. So you can claim the bad debt not from 1st of January. From 1st of February, you have to count 6 months. So it's not when the invoice is issued, it is actually when the invoice was due. From that date is 6 months. So in the exam, they might give you like 6 month duration from the invoice date, and they'll tell you, can they claim? The answer is no, because you have to count the 6 months from the day invoice was due, not the invoice was waged. So we can say the answer will be here, the VAT period, September, 30th of September. Well done, Sharon. That is 30th of September. All right, so let's move on. 6 months from 1st of March. Yes, Umid, because we can see the invoice is issued 1st of February and they give 1 month credit. So obviously the invoice is actually due 1st of March, not 1st of February. All right, move on to the next bit. The next question we have task number 4. On task 4, 9 marks question. And here is saying a business has just discovered it made the following non-deliberate, non-careless error that affect its previous VAT return. So it says there is some error the business made, but that was non-deliberate, that wasn't intentional, non-careless. So obviously it wasn't like because of the carelessness, and that affect the previous VAT return. So obviously it's affect the previous VAT return. So you made some mistake that affect the previous VAT return. Then the question is saying VAT of 56, VAT of 56 on an invoice to a UK customer was entered twice on the accounting record. So basically, that's my VAT control account, for example. I'm supposed to write 56 one, but mistakenly I write twice. So obviously, like one, I have to claim back. So this one, I charge more output VAT. So I have to, for this period, I have to reduce 56 because last period, the last quarter, I paid more VAT. There was only one customer 56, but I write twice. So I paid 56 more last period. So this period, I'm going to minus 56. This is number one. Number two, it says VAT 178 on a credit note to a UK customer was omitted from the accounting report. Omitted means you forget. Omitted means you missed it. Omitted means you didn't consider that at all. You didn't record it at all. So this invoice completely missed. So obviously, if I completely missed something, and that was a credit note. Credit note means return, isn't it? Credit note means return. When customer returns something to me, I give the credit note. And because of the credit note, I have to return the money to the customer. So that is not my actual sales. So if I return to my customer, I'm not going to pay VAT for that. If you remember, the VAT control account, sales is this side. On the other hand, sales return is this side. This will reduce your VAT liability. Reduce VAT liability. So this one I completely forgot. So I'm going to claim this one as well. So outside this plus 178. 56 plus 178. How much it is? 234. This 234 I'm going to add or deduct. 234 I'm going to deduct because I already paid 56 extra and I forget to claim 178. So I have to deduct from the output tax 254. So I'm going to pay less VAT. I'm going to pay 234 less VAT for this period. If you have any question, you can ask me so that we can discuss more. So this box you have to remember, box 1, box 2. So every box you have to remember which box consider what figure. It's very, very important because this question will be relevant and scattered in everywhere. It will be mixed up with different questions. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next one we have here says a large business has a box 6 figure. What is the box 6 figure? Anyone remember what we actually write on the box number 6? What is inside of the box 6? Total sales. Yeah, on the box 6, we actually record all the total sales. Well done, Sharon. Yes, actually in box number 6, tell us how much is the total sales. Says a large business has a box 6 figure on its current VAT return 1355000. It has discovered a net error in a previous VAT period that is 14,025. Okay. It has corrected the error on the current VAT return without separate notification to HMRC. So we know there is some criteria, and if this criteria doesn't satisfied, we have to tell HMRC separately for the net error. What is the criteria? Do you remember that criteria? That is between the greater of, isn't it, or higher of? Greater of 10,000 and 1% of the box 6. Very well done, correct? 1% of the box 6 of cells. Now, if we calculate that, let's say the net error is 14,025 and 1% of the 1355, I think it will be, of course, like 13550. So out of these two, the higher of is a greater of. So between 10,000 and 13,350, the higher is 13,350, and that error, the error is 14,025. So the error is more higher than the threshold. So if the net error is more higher than the threshold, we need to tell HMRC separately. We have to tell HMRC separately about this error. And anyone remember which form we use to tell the HMRC, like about the error? There is a form we use, that is 652. Very well done. This one also comes in the exam, VT 652. So this form we use when we need to tell something HMRC separately. So in this case, the person, the business don't have any option. They cannot correct this error because the net error is more than the threshold. We check it, we found it is 14,000, so that is more than the threshold. They definitely have to tell separately. But what they did, it has corrected the error on the VAT, on the current VAT return without separate notification to HMRC. So they didn't tell anything intentionally. They didn't say anything intentionally. Which of the following will be consequence for the business? HMRC will regard this, which HMRC will consider this what? The correct action, so there will be no further consequences. The incorrect action and issue a surcharge liability, a deliberate error and issue a penalty. What do you think? Because of that, what HMRC will do? HMRC will say like, that's fine, nothing to do. HMRC said, okay, so this is incorrect, so I'll issue a surcharge liability notice. Or number C, is a deliberate error or issue a penalty. Very good, Jumper. It is a deliberate error. When the error is more than the threshold, we have to tell HMRC separately, and it will be treated as a deliberate error, and you will get a penalty for that. Say a deliberate error and issue a penalty. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Complete the following statement. A business accountant needs to keep up to date with the changes in VAT regulation and practice to comply with the ethical principle of what? Objectivity, professional competence, and confidentiality. So they have to keep up to date themselves with professional competence. Yes, so they have to. Professional competence means like their skill and their expertise need to be up to date. So all this knowledge, all this information, they have to keep themselves up to date so they don't make a mistake. So they knows what is the new regulation. So professional competence. All right, so let's move on. Number D. Let's have a look at this one. So identify whether each of the following statement about VAT rules and the practice is true or false. A business which failed to submit a VAT return may have to pay an amount which HMRC assessed to be due. Is it true or false? So you fail to if you fail to submit your return, HMRC can give you the penalty based on their assessment. They can actually decide like how much the penalty you have to pay. Is it true or false? The answer is true, isn't it? Because it's true because HMRC will decide how much the penalty will be. There is no certain regulation because if the business failed to submit a VAT return, so the amount of the penalty, the amount have to pay, which HMRC assessed to be due. If HMRC think this is the amount due, you have to pay that amount. If HMRC said it's not the penalty, it's like what HMRC decided how much you need to pay. This is the amount. So obviously, if you fail to submit, for example, let's say your quarter was due on 31st of March and the month is over and the liability is still there. So HMRC checked with you and said how much was the sale. Based on your information, HMRC give you a figure and you said you can pay. VAT is the only thing you can pay even estimated. For example, for any reason, if you said like, I cannot submit this quarter VAT on time, or maybe I'll be late for some reason, HMRC normally accept this. HMRC will not say, no, you have to submit it. So HMRC will give you estimate figure. HMRC will tell you, okay, based on your last few quarters, your normal VAT is like maybe 5,000 a quarter. So can you submit the 5,000? After that, you can adjust the right figure. So you are allowed to submit the estimated VAT, but you have to speak to HMRC first. But normally they allow you to submit the estimated figure. Okay, the next one, business which receive a surcharge liability notice issued by HMRC must immediately pay a surcharge to HMRC. Is it true or false? This question could be tricky in the exam because it seems like it's true. It seems like it's true because HMRC give you a notice and you have to pay immediately. It looks like it's true, but it is actually not. And anyone remember what is surcharge liability? What is the time period we have? For the surcharge, so surcharge liability notice is 12 months. Basically, what happens when you fail a deadline, when you don't submit the VAT on time, so HMRC give you a surcharge notice and it will stay up to 12 months. And within 12 months, if you fail to submit the VAT return again on time, then they will give you the penalty. For example, if you don't submit on time, HMRC will tell you, this is the notice, you forget to submit your VAT return on time, so they'll give you later. And after that, they'll give you a 12-month notice period. Within this notice period, if you made a mistake again, if you fail to submit the VAT return again, then they'll give you the penalty. And from that day, it will be started again 12 months. So this is basically false. You can read from the book, surcharge liability notice. It will be more clear if you read from the book. Okay, so let's move on. 5 says a business supplies a standard rated item at a price of 780 excluding VAT. A business supply a standard rated item at a price 780 excluding VAT. The customer pay within 10 days and take advantage of 5% from payment discount offer for such from payment. So basically what's happening here, the business sell the product that is standard rated, and the price is 780 and excluding VAT. So there is no VAT inside. And actually, if the customer pay within 10 days, they get a 5% discount, and the customer accept this type of discount. So actually, what will happen? How much output tax should the business include in the VAT account for the supply? So how much will be the actual VAT? Now from 780 is 100%, but 5% we give the discount. So actual sales will be 95%, isn't it? Actual sales will be 95%. So if we calculate that, 780 times 95%, that is 741. 741. And if we do 20% VAT on that, that will give us 148. That will give us 148.20. So we'll say 148.20. Well done, Creed. Very well done, Linji. So that's how we can calculate this one. So the from discount, we have to always deduct it. The next one we have a manufacturer supply a standard rated item at a VAT inclusive amount 520. VAT inclusive, that means VAT is inside. How much output tax should the manufacturer include in the VAT account for this supply? How much we should include? They said the VAT is inside, isn't it? If the VAT is inside, what do you do? You divide by 6. If the VAT is inside, you always divide by 6. If you divide by 6 is 86. Right? 6. This is a VAT. Will be included on the VAT supply account. All right, let's have a look at the next one. The next one is says a business has recorded a credit note. A business has recorded a credit note from a supplier owing VAT 96 when it should be 69. So it's basically supposed to be 69, but mistakenly we wrote 96. For what? For a credit note from a supplier. That means I purchase. When I purchase and I pay VAT. So what we do, we claim this VAT, isn't it? So rather than claiming 96, I claim, rather than claiming 69, I claim 96. So I claim more, isn't it? Currently, the business VAT account show output tax is this, and input tax is 1340. When the error is corrected, which one of the following figure will be corrected? So which one will be corrected? Remember, if there is a problem with the output, with the sales, if there is a problem with the output, the sales, we correct the output VAT. If I made a mistake with the output, then I correct output. If I made a mistake with the input, because here it is input, isn't it? Because I am buying from my supplier and I claim the VAT. So that's input VAT. When I purchase, the VAT on purchase is input VAT. So I supposed to claim 69, but I claim 96. So this input tax will be corrected, isn't it? This input tax will be corrected. So 1840, 1840 and plus what? 27. What is the difference? 96 minus 69. That is 27. So if I added 27, so 1340 plus 27, that is 1367. 1367. So that's my input VAT. Input VAT. So we'll correct the input VAT. We need to add Priya because have a look at this one. Business has recorded a credit note. So you're recording a credit note from a supplier. showing VAT 96 when it should have been 69. So when you receive a credit note from the supplier, what does that mean? That means you returned it. So you're recording a credit note from a supplier. So you return something. And obviously, like when you return something, what will happen? So whatever VAT you're supposed to claim, you claim, let's say we have 96 here. So that is our credit note. And it should have been 69. So that's my difference, isn't it? 27. So actually my input text, whatever it is, 1350 is showing the, if the business VAT account show output tax, currently, that's my current period, the business VAT account show output tax this and input tax this. So ultimately I have to add it up, the input tax, isn't it? So that will give me input tax 1367. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so we have a task 6. Let's try this one. After that, we'll take a break because we have only 8 tasks. And obviously, we are doing number 6. This question will be, this exam will be really quick, to be honest. Like only the few questions at the end, task 6, 7, and 8. Maybe these 3 questions will be a little bit longer because we're doing the VAT return. But other question will be not very tricky because if you know it, you can answer really quick. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So you need to prepare selected figure for a business VAT return for the period 30 April and on 30 April. The following account have been extracted from the ledgers, okay, sales account and the VAT account. So for the VAT purpose, mainly look at the VAT account, but for the box 6, 7, for this reason, we need the sales daybook and the sales return daybook as well. So let's have a look what else we have here. The question is saying on the sales account, we have sales daybook, sales from UK, sales daybook, EU dispatch. So this is basically, if I make a sales to UK, that is UK sales and EU dispatch. It's very, very important to separate this one because when you fulfill the box, when you complete the box, then we have a separate column for the EU sale as well. So we need to make sure we record the EU sale on the EU column. That's our balance CD. That's my total sales actually. On the VAT account, what we have here, VAT from the UK sale, and we have purchase return daybook. So all the UK purchase return and purchase daybook. So that's my UK purchase. So that's my actual input VAT. That's my purchase return, and that's my UK sale. Okay, so the next point here is you discover that during the VAT period, the business sold a van for 6280, including a VAT 1040. So during this period, the business sold a van 6240, including VAT 1040. It recorded the gross sale in the sales account. So that means 6240 is inside of the UK sales table. So we recorded gross, the VAT is inside. So inside of the 6240, there is a VAT of 1040 and the VAT is also inside of the cells. It recorded the gross sale in the sale account and made no entry for the VAT account. Now on the sale account, we only record the net, isn't it? On the sales account, we don't record the gross. But mistakenly for the van, we recorded it the gross. That means we show the figure with the VAT. We included the figure with the VAT. The business owner tried to persuade you to ignore this matter. So basically, the business owner is saying, like, ignore this matter. So you don't have to, like, sometimes they want to claim more VAT. They say don't like don't have to worry about it. Whatever is the amount you can claim. So your business owner is pressuring you not to consider this matter. Which of the following should be your response to the business owner? If you insist, then I will respect your authority and ignore the matter. Both VAT legislation and my ethical principle mean I cannot ignore the matter. So obviously, we need to say this one is very straightforward. You understand that because of the VAT legislation, because of the VAT rules, and because of my ethical principle, I cannot ignore this matter. So if there is a mistake, I have to tell it is a mistake. Okay, what is the next point here? The next thing here, they said the business owner decided that both sales account and the VAT account need to be corrected. Okay, so now he decided to correct, we need to correct that. So calculate the figure to be included in the box 1. So we're looking for how much will be in the box 1 of the VAT return once any necessary correction to the ledger account have been made. So in the box 1, we know what we're going to include, isn't it? So how much will be the VAT return on the box 1? How much are you going to include on the box 1? So we look at the VAT account. We don't look at our sales account. So let's look at the VAT account. So on the VAT account, you can see we have this. So VAT on UKSL, VAT on UKSL, that is 27,518. Do we have anything to add here? So 27,518.23, and we have one van we missed, isn't it? A van we have missed here. So forget to add the VAT. So VAT on van, that is 1040. If I added this to, how much is the total we have here? 28,558. 558.23. That's our box 1 VAT. So that's from the UKSL. We don't have any sales return. If we have a sales return, we have to minus this one. So if the VAT account said, like there is a sales return, we have to minus that, but there is no sales return here. So actually that's my only VAT for the sales, and one van I have forgot. So I'm going to add the van. That's it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next question we have, we say calculate the figure to be included in box 4. Do you remember what is box 4? What you need to include on the box 4? That's box 1. Box 4 is all about the input VAT, isn't it? Box 4 is all about VAT on purchase. Yes, box 4 is all about input VAT. So how much is the input VAT we have? So we have, first we have the VAT on purchase, that is 16,347. And of course, there is a purchase return as well. So there is a purchase return. So 16,347.09 minus 1774.28. That gives me 14,572.81. Yeah, so we have a purchase. So input VAT. So VAT on purchase, that is 16,387.09. Minus, we have a purchase return, that is 1774. So if I return something, I cannot claim the VAT for that. If I return anything, this is not my input VAT. I have to minus from my input VAT. Because if I return something, I cannot claim the VAT on that. So if I minus that, 40,057 to 2. All right, so this is also done. Let's have a look at the next one we have. The next one is asking what will be the calculate the figure to be included in box 6. Obviously, boxes you already know, isn't it? It's all the cells. So how much will be the box 6? We have 161. How did you get 161, Minji? We have 1. We have a total cell balance CD. That is cells 162.456.37. And the question said mistakenly this VAT, these cells included as a gross in the sales account. In the sales account, we only recorded the net. The sales account, we never add the VAT. But that was a mistake. 1040 somehow included on the cell as a gross. So we have to minus it. That is a VAT, that's not actually sale. Minus this one, 1040. And that will actually give me how much is actual sale. And how much it is? 161. 161.416. Very well done, Omid. Very well done, Fedora. Very well done, Lindsay. So now we can go back and we can actually write answer on the question. Good, Sharon. So let's move on. B is box 1. That is 28,558.3. Number C, we have box 4. 152.87. And finally, box 6. That is 161.6. That's it for this question. And obviously, you see, we have only 2 more questions left. And should the number be whole in after box 5? Yes, the question will tell you like make a pounds only. If they ask for the makes a pounds only, what you can do, you can keep this one up to 16, or you can make 17. That will give you the whole mass. You make a round. So you can keep 161.416, or you can say 161.417. Both answer will give you the full marks. Okay, very good, Sharon. So let's move on 7. Okay, before we move to the 7, we'll take a break because we have only 2 more questions. 7 and 8 will finish very quick. And this exam could be really quick, obviously, if you know the answer. And more or less, this question comes in the exam. So you don't have much thing on the book, on the syllabus. You can see like we have some dates. One is the deadline, how to submit that, when HMRC give you surcharge penalty. All of this are basic information. And mainly, most of the marks will come from the VAT return from the 9 boxes. If you remember these 9 boxes, I'm telling you, you'll get at least like 35 to 40 marks will come from only from the boxes. So remember your VAT return, you'll get 35 to 40 marks in the exam. So this 9 boxes has to be on your head. You have to know every single thing, like when you basically when there's acquisition on the EU, when you know the VAT number, when you don't know the VAT number, when you can claim the bad debt relief, when you add the bad debt relief, how you claim it. So you add it with input VAT. All of these things you have to know. So in the books, you have some question on this practice question. You have some questions. So you need to practice all these questions. So make sure you don't lose any marks from the VAT return question. All right, so let's take a break and we'll come back after half an hour and we'll quickly finish the next 2 questions. So let's take a break. It's now 9:15. We'll come back around 9:45, 7:45. So I'll see you in 30 minutes time. All right, welcome back. Let's start with our task number 7. So let's read this question. On task 7 for 17 marks, you can see it's a lot of marks here. So we need to make sure, like this type of question, especially the VAT return, the boxes question, you have to make sure you know everything. Task 7. Let's read this question. It's a you need to prepare all the figure for completion of a business online VAT return for the period ended 30 June. The following accounts have been extracted from the ledgers. Sales account. So we have a sales table, that is sales from the UK, and this is credit sale from the sales table, and this is a cash sale from the cash book. Doesn't matter it is a cash sale or it is a credit sale, we have to pay the VAT anyway. So it's not like HMRC will tell us like if you make a credit sale you have to pay the VAT, but if you make a cash sale you don't have to pay the VAT. No. So the sales is not very important how it is, cash or credit. As long as you make a sales you have to pay the VAT. So this is our total sale, cash and credit. Then purchase account, we can see here we have a purchase from UK, that is 64,000. Purchase from EU is very important because this is relevant. So when there is a purchase from EU, that's my acquisition. And this is also need to calculate for one of the box. And this one, normally, if the question don't say anything, you have to calculate the VAT 20% on that straight away. Then you have a balance CD, that's my total purchase, including UK and EU. That's my VAT control account. On the VAT control account, I can see I have a VAT from UK sales, that is 36, and UK VAT from the cash sale is both from UK, that is 19. And on the other hand, we have a VAT, that is input VAT on purchase day book, 12,994. Let's read this question. It said all the acquisition were standard rated good. All the acquisitions were standard rated goods. Enter the value, enter the relevant figure into the online VAT return for the period ended 30 June. Do not leave any box blank. Basically, if you are decided to submit VAT online, and if you create a VAT account for your client, actually you're going to see exactly the same thing what we are seeing here. Whatever we can see here, 9 boxes, you will see the same thing when you open a VAT account for the client with the government website. So if you log in, you'll see these 9 boxes. All you need to do, you need to fulfill these 9 boxes. You need to enter the information on these 9 boxes, and after that you just submit. If you know how to prepare the VAT return for your exam for this question, you can prepare the VAT return for your client as well. So let's have a look at this one. We have 9 boxes. We know all these 9 boxes anyway. Let's read the requirement. What is the requirement? Number A, complete the boxes. Number B, we have some more boxes. That's fine. Let's do that. The first one is box 1. VAT due in this period on sale and other output. So that's box 1. So output VAT. Let's try to find how much is the output VAT here. So this is our VAT control account. And how much is the output VAT here? So we have VAT here, that is from UK. This is from UK. One is credit, one is cash. So the top one is a credit sale. This one is a cash sale. If I added this two, how much is the VAT? So 36,183.35. That is the credit sale, and 19,490.47. That's the cash sale. If I added these two, my VAT is total 55,673.82. Well done on it. So 55673.82. That's my box 1, isn't it? Let's move on to the box 2. How much is the box 2? It says VAT due in the period of acquisition from EC member. So we have a purchase from EC member from European country. So let's have a look how much we purchased from EC member. So this is our acquisition. Purchase a book EU acquisition, that is 36,784. So 36,784.65, and the VAT is 20% on that. And how much it will be? 7356.93. Very well done, Sharon. This is for our EC acquisition. That's fine. Let's move to box number 3. Box number 3, this is calculated value, so you don't have to do it anything now. And obviously, like the next one, it says the VAT reclaim in the period of purchase, another input, including acquisition from EC. Box 4. So we're talking about now input VAT. Let's have a look at the input VAT. How much the input VAT have? So we have here input VAT, that is 12,994.94. Plus we need to add the EC as well. That is calculated already, 7356.93. So how much is the total here? 2351. 987. It's not showing on the VAT control account with me. This is our VAT control account. And obviously, like the acquisition, you see from this is here. This is not included here. That's only for the UK. Because for the EC, for the output and for the input, we have to show separately. When you talk about box number 4, then you have to include all the input VAT, that is including the EC as well. And on the other hand, let's have a look. If you read the question, I hope you'll understand that. So I'll show you the question. So if you look at the question, it says the first box is all about only for the UK. The next box is acquisition from EC countries. So acquisition means purchase. When you purchase from EC country, that is acquisition. Now you might thinking why I'm including here and why I'm including with input as well. Because if you buy something from the European country, so actually you say this is my acquisition, so you consider this VAT 20%, but you again claim back. So you treat this one as output VAT, and at the same time on box 4, you claim this one as input VAT. So you say that's my output VAT 7,000, that's my input VAT 7,000, and actually the impact is 0. There is no impact. So first on box number 2, we show this amount 7356, and on box number 4 we added including the acquisition from EC. So this one will be here separately as output VAT. Here it will be part of the input VAT. So whatever I'm paying as output, I'm claiming back on the input. So actually there is no impact for that if you buy something from European country. All right. Where do you record the acquisition VAT on the VAT account? So on the VAT account, actually you don't record this one. You see, this is your VAT control account, and this one you don't show it here. You show it separately on the VAT account. On the VAT account, you only record all this from the UK, not for any EU acquisition. Okay, for your bookkeeping purpose, of course, if it is a VAT, then you will treat this one on your VAT. Of course, like some of the software, if you use QuickBook or if you use Zero or if you use Sage, so there will be option like this acquisition from which country. So if you put the acquisition and you consider this one as a EU acquisition, this VAT will be treated separately, not with the VAT control account. Because ultimately for the EU acquisition, there is no impact. Even though you're paying the VAT, you claim impact, so it will not affect for you at all. You don't have to keep manually. As soon as you mark this one as the EU, it will show you a separate account for the EU acquisition. All right. All right, so let's move on to our next box we have. So this box 5 is all about the difference between box 3 and 4, but this it is a calculated value. We don't have to calculate that. The next one we have here, total value of the sales, box 6. This is including like obviously everything, including box 8 as well. So all the sales, how much sales we have here total. So the sales account we can see box number 6. Let's say box 6. Our sales will be how much? 278. But this time we need to make sure we don't take the pence. We need to make sure we don't take the pence. We take either we make it 70 or we take 69. So 278 369, or you can make 70 278 370. You get the full marks, but don't take the pence because you need to make it round for this question. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We have box 7. On the box 7 we have, that is box 7, we have the total purchase. So let's have a look at the total purchase. So the total purchase is 101759. So let's write it down. Box 7, 101759. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We have box 8, total value supplies. Total value all supplies, goods and related to EC. We didn't sell anything to the EC country, isn't it? From the sales account, we can see all the sales we have in UK. We don't have any sales for the EU. So we said it's 0 actually. The box number 8 is actually 0. So box 8 actually 0. All right, then box number 9, total value of the all acquisition of goods related to cost excluding VAT from EC. So they're talking about now EC. How much is the total acquisition from EC? That is 86,784. 86,007. All right, thank you, Tithra. So let's move on to our. Now we can go back to the box and quickly fill it up. So box number 1, we have 55, 673.82. Then box number 2, we have 7356.93. Box number 4, we have 20,051.87. Box number 6, we have total sale, that is 278,369. Box number 7, we have 101,759. Box number 8, we have 0. Box number 9, we have 36,7. That's it, isn't it? So that's how we can complete it all the box sequence. It's a 13 marks question. 13 marks question. It's not very difficult question. So it's 13 marks question. And if you know this thing little bit, you can get all the marks from this thing. All right, so let's move on to the next one. What we have. The next question is asking. The next question we have here. Calculate the VAT value Calculate the VAT value. Maybe you can do one thing. You can email me whatever your question. So you can email me. I'll tell you exactly what is your question without for that. Okay. So number B is asking calculate the value that will be shown online when you submit the VAT return for the following boxes. If a repayment is due, use a minus sign. So basically, they're asking all these boxes we have done here. So this box 3 and box 4. Let's do that. Box 3 and 4. And we can get the box 3 and 4, isn't it? So box 3 is all about this plus this. So if we added this 2, it will give you the figure for the box 3. So let's add this 2. 55, 673.82 plus 7356.93. That is 63,303. 63,303. That's for our box 3. And for our box 4, the box 5 is the difference. The difference between box 3 and the box 4. So now we have a box 3 and we can minus with the box 4. So box 4 we have 20,351.87. That gives me 42,678.88. This two we are just doing for the question we have for the requirement number B. For the requirement B, they're asking for the box 3 and for the box 5. So we just calculated everything for these two answers. So if you go down, you can see this one. So if you go here, calculate the value for the box 3. This one we have done, that is 63,030.35. And for the box 5, that is the difference between box 3 and 4. That is 42,678. Let's write it down here. 60, 63. So we have 63,030.35. And here we have 42,67,8.48. That's it. Okay, let's move on to the task 8. The final question, the last question we have for this task. Normally we will have 8 tasks in the exam and you have to answer all this question. And of course, like there is no alternative. As I said, there is no optional. You have to attempt every single question we have. And maximum marks we'll expect from the VAT return. Okay, let's read this question. It says you are an accounting technician. You are an accounting technician for a business. It does not operate any special accounting scheme. So that means we are not any special accounting scheme. That means we are with the annual accounting scheme or cash accounting scheme. No, there is no special accounting scheme. It's just standard scheme. And has a direct debit arrangement in place with HMRC for VAT payment. Do you remember how many days we get extra for the direct debit arrangement? So normally it is 1 month, 7 days, isn't it? So when the business decided to pay by direct debit, they get some extra days. How many days they get extra? They get 3 working days. Remember, not the weekend, not the bank holiday. 3 working days. 3 working days they get extra. 3 working days they get extra. Business gets extra if they pay by direct debit. Okay, this is the completed online VAT return for the period ended 30 June Online VAT period. Online VAT return for the period ended 30 June. The VAT due on the period on sale output box, this is this, then box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, box 6, box 7, 8, and 9. So they already calculated everything. So let's have a look. What is the question here? What is the requirement? Let's try to identify the requirement. Today is 16th of July. Okay. Bank working days are Monday to Friday. So bank are working Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday is closed. There are no bank holiday in July or the first half of the August. Okay. Complete the following email. Complete the following email to the finance manager of the business. So basically, you are the accounting technician. So that's you from you and to your finance manager. So you writing an email, to your finance manager. Date is 16th of July, and the subject completed VAT return. Please be advised that I have just completed the online VAT return for the period ended 30th of June. The amount of the VAT is dash, will be dash, and please arrange this. So basically, the question is asking the amount of VAT is it payable or reclaimable? So is it payable or reclaimable? Will be how much? So you see the pound figure. If you see the sign of the pound, so that means it will be the amount. And here you need to say, are you going to get it back from HMRC or are you going to pay to HMRC? So let's have a look first. The box 5 will tell us, am I going to get or I'm going to pay, isn't it? So let's try to calculate that. I have nothing here, so I don't have to add these two. Just box 2 is 0. So box 1 and 2, if I add it, is going to be this one, 87 to 39 anyway. So let's have a look at this one. How much is the box 4? This. So how much will be the basically amount payable to HMRC? So 87,000 minus 32. It will tell me how much actually I need to pay. So I need to pay the difference. So 2. You can see here, how much is the difference? 54. 54, 252.9. Well done, right? And this is payable, isn't it? It's payable. Why it is payable? Because my output VAT is more than the input VAT. My output VAT is 87 and my input VAT is 32. So that is payable. I have to pay. Because my liability is more than the expense. My output VAT is more than the input VAT. Okay. So let's have a look. The next one we have. So we understand this one here. That will be payable. And will be 54. And we're going to pay by direct debit. So let's have a look. It's a please arrange. Please arrange. What will be the answer here? Okay, Limji and Dora, you are saying like for the sufficient funds permitted by 12th of August. Okay, so you are saying this is the answer. Can anyone tell me how they end up with the 12th of August? Why it is 12th of August? Because 30 June is the VAT ended period. And we have 3 working days extra because we pay by direct debit. Normally, the deadline is 1 month, 7 days, isn't it? 1 month, 7 days. So 1 month and 7 days. This is the normal time. But for the direct debit, we will get 3 days extra. Very, very careful, this one. Very well done, Lindsay. Yes, the weekend is not included. So if you see from here, from 30th of June. From 30th of June, we started 1 month, 7 days. That will be 1 month plus 7 days. That will be 7th of August. Now another 3 days, that will be not the weekend, 3 working days. So from 7th of August, 8 plus 9 August is a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So basically the 3 working days will be after that. So that's why it will be started from that time till plus 3, so that will be 12. 12 of August. It's very, very important. So obviously, like you don't consider the weekend, so you consider 3 extra days, but that is working days. Okay, that's fine. So you understand this one, weekend is not included. So that's why there's a 12. Otherwise, you might think it's 10. So that will be answer for sufficient fund permit ratios by 12 August. Okay, so this is our first part. The next part we have here, number B. Number B is asking, how should you respond to the finance manager instruction? What is the instruction? It says the business is considering supplying a new service to business. The business is considering supplying a new service to business and non-business customer through EU. Okay. The sales director wants a precise answer. The sales director wants a precise answer today about the exact rate of the VAT to charge to all customers. The finance manager is busy, so instruct you to reply to the sales director. You are concerned that the detail required for the answer is beyond your current experience. So basically, the finance director is busy and they ask you to give some advice. Now, remember, if this type of question comes in the exam, if you see they are giving some information and on the same time they are telling you are not enough expertise for this answer, or you are not enough expertise to provide these services. Remember, do not give any advice. If the question give you the clue that you don't have enough experience, then do not give any advice to the client. Okay, so here they said, how should you respond the finance manager instruction? So the first one, it says, okay, I think I know the answer, so I'll advise sales director accordingly. So that's not the answer because you don't have any enough experience. Then it says, I don't know the answer, but I will advise the sales director that is always be charged 20%. So this is not the answer because you don't just guess. You cannot just guess and tell your sales director, like, I guess that will be the answer. So that cannot be the answer. I don't know the answer, so I cannot advise the sales director without guidance from you. So I'm telling the finance director, I cannot tell anything to the sales director because this is beyond my expertise. So I cannot tell anything without having a guidance from you. This is the answer. So you can see, like, obviously, this is the end of the question. And we have practice one question. Obviously, like, you have to practice more, there is no doubt. So all you need to do, as I said, you have to log into your My AAT account. And from there, you have to practice these two practice questions. And by the same times, you have to attempt all the green light tests you have. And top of that, if you have a question bank, you practice all the question bank. So that's not the difficult thing, but you do keep doing the same thing. You feel like most of the answer will be known, and there is not much information for this paper. As I said, the syllabus is very limited, so very quickly you will be like cover up with your syllabus, and hopefully, like in the exam, you will not find any difficult question because this exam is quite straightforward. If you have a very good knowledge from the book and from the practice question, you can answer all the questions. And from the book, we have some question end of the chapter. This is called test your learning. It's very, very important. Most of the test your learning is kind of an exam type question. We did all the practice from the book, like the activities, but we didn't practice any test your learning. So make sure you practice all your test your learnings. It's very, very important. You have the solution end of the book, so you can check you are right or wrong. And if you stop in any question, you can email me. I'll try to explain that. But make sure you practice all the test your learnings from the book and the practice question from the AAT website. And if you need any help, like how to log in there, how to where to go, I think all of you know it. But still, if you need any help, you can email me. I'll tell you how to practice from your mind account. And for the exam next week, we'll do the exam. And of course, like if you, I'll send you the email for the detail. Next Thursday, we don't have any lessons. So next Thursday, we'll take a break. And a week after, basically, we're going to start our new lesson. That will be advanced bookkeeping. We're going to start that from week after. So next week, we'll have our exam. So I'll tell you about the exam time. If you come to Barking, that will be most likely Thursday evening in Barking, 5 o'clock. If you come 5 o'clock in Barking, we can do the exam. And if you go to Park Royal, I will speak to the Park Royal admin team. I'll see when they're available, so you can go there. I'll send you the detailed email by tomorrow, so you will get all the information for your exam. So make yourself ready for this week. Do the exam next week, next Thursday. You complete this paper. Then week after, we're going to start the new paper. That will be advanced bookkeeping. If you need to buy your book, you can order the book in advance so that you can get the book uh, by like next week, so that once you start the lesson, you can have your book. Advanced bookkeeping will be kind of bit higher level than the bookkeeping paper you have done your level 2. And obviously, like if you already done the bookkeeping, that will be very interesting for you. And I'll tell you one more thing, like if any student already completed the advanced bookkeeping, you can choose to another module with another day with another teacher. We have a like different lecture on different day, so you can choose that as well. But if you haven't done advanced bookkeeping yet, so we can start advanced bookkeeping with me. And that will be not next week, week after. Next week, we'll do the exam. And for the exam details, I'll send you the email when, where, what time. I'll send you everything. Most likely, in Barking, it will be Thursday, 5 p.m. Next Thursday, 5 p.m. in Barking. Parkwell, I'll confirm for that. All right, so yes, Nick, you can do that. Yes, you can speak to the admin team. They'll give you other option as well. We have other teacher as well. So I think Wednesday or Saturday, you can choose that other day as well. When will be the next exam? So Elena, the next exam, I do not have any lecture. Now, okay, so if you do a level 2, then obviously complete your level 2 fast, then you do level 3 exam. That will be more convenient. And you can do exam if you want to do on Barking. I can set up the exam for you on Thursday. Or if you want to do on Tuesday, I can do exam on Tuesday as well after lunch in Barking. If you want to do in Park Royal, you need to email to the admin team. They will tell you when they have exam available. And obviously, if you're outside of the London, you can find your center where you live. If they are taking the exam, you can do the exam there. So if you are not at this moment in London, you can find AAT center. We have almost everywhere, and hopefully, like you can do exam anywhere you are. Yes, Vinal, when you register with AAT, then you have to choose this one, Advanced Diploma in Level 3, and that will give you all the option of the registration. You can, if you just send me an email, like for the AAT registration Level 3, Vinal, I'll send you a email that will tell you how to register. I'll send you a PDF file, and that will help you like to understand where to register, how to register. Yes, Lindsay, if you don't live in London, you have to find yourself. Priya, okay, I'll have a look. I'll tell you which page you need to read for your simplified invoice. If you go to page number 160 on the book here, you can see all of this here. simplified invoice. So this will tell you whatever exactly you need to know. All right, so that's fine, that's no problem. What about the module after bookkeeping? Uh, we are not sure yet, Umit, so we'll decide after the bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is a long course after advanced bookkeeping. That will be almost 6 to 8 weeks course. So after that, we will decide. But I'll email you what will be the next module. If you already done advanced bookkeeping, you can do another module, or you can just like email me. I can tell you what is this after a certain time. But for the time being, we only know the next module will be advanced bookkeeping. I've done today, but my account is not available. That's fine, we know. So if you've done registration today, even you'll have the same AAT number, it will not be changed. So don't worry about it. You can still do AAT level 3 exam. Already register with that, and you can do that. Now, Tidora, we'll do advanced bookkeeping after that, but I'll email you. All of you, I'll email you what will be the next module. And how many of you here completed the advanced bookkeeping? Anyone completed advanced bookkeeping here? Any of you completed advanced bookkeeping? You do it. So Alexandra, you did. Okay. Mohammed, you did. So okay, three. So three of you completed advanced bookkeeping. So that's all right. So it's not like much, but I think like most likely will go for the advanced booking. But I'll email you by next week and confirm which module you're going to start. But most likely to be advanced booking. Zumba, basically there is no first or second module. You can start with any module. You have to complete all the 6 module anyway. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. Because before you do the synoptic exam, you have to complete all the paper anyway. It's not really matter which one you start. We'll do spreadsheet, Alexander, but obviously, like for me, maybe not right now because we have done some spreadsheet just like last for this paper. So I would say, like, if you want to do spreadsheet, you can check with the other teachers' timetable. They might give you like who is doing very recently. Because if you've done your advanced bookkeeping already, you can look for the other paper, like which one you need. All right. So, any more question? So if you don't have any questions, what I'll do, I'll send the email for the exam. Hopefully next week we'll do our exam, and I'll send you the email of detailing everything about the exam. So next Thursday there will be no class. I'm telling you again, next Thursday there will be no class. Next Thursday we'll do the exam, and week after we'll do the new paper. Starting the new paper, I'll send you the email for everything and the details as well. So I'm not gonna see you next week. I'll see you. Week after, you need to buy the book from BPP. Yes, you know, you need to buy the book from BPP. If you need the link from where to buy the book, I can send you the link. Just send me an email. I'll send it to you. All right, guys. So uh, do some practice. Make sure you practice enough uh, for this paper. Yes, you have bookkeeping control, Sharon. If you're doing level 2, you have your level 2 anyway. Yeah. So do some practice for this paper, and hopefully all of you attend the exam. And I'll see you in 1 week time. And if you have any question during your practice, when you practice, if you stop anywhere, just take a picture, send it to me through the email. I try to explain to you on the email. And I wish you a very like good preparation for this exam. Don't delay 1 week. Uh, 1 week is more than enough to pass this paper. I can tell you. If you're starting today, even your preparation, you'll be absolutely fine. But make sure, as I said, do practice from your AAT website. That's very important. Log into your MyAAT account, do the practice from there, do the green test, do some practice from your question bank, and do the practice from your book. All the tests you're learning and the activities, you will be absolutely ready for the exam. All right. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'll see you in 1 week's time. So next week we'll have exams. I'll see you after next week. So take care of yourself and stay safe. We'll meet very soon with the new paper. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Olaf. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everyone.